What's that? Okay, guys, thanks for joining us today. I'm Jeff Clausen. This is Chad Edberg, and we've also got Jason Hahn with us today. He's our audio visual expert extraordinaire running the camera, so if there's any technical difficulties, he's going to take care of it. So thank you. He's turning red right now, folks, so thank you very much, Jason. Really appreciate that. So we want to talk about our football program here in Benton Community and how we all get together with Metro Football in Cedar Rapids as well. So we've obviously got some stuff to talk about today. Our spring season starts, and it starts March 20. What did I have that? March 23rd?
3rd or 4th.
I wrote it down. It starts. So I thought what we would do, before I really get into when it starts, let me give you a little bit about myself. Chad can talk a little bit about himself. I live in Atkins right now. I live over by the pond on that side of town. And I've coached Metro football. This is my 3rd year coaching Metro. And I've got 3 boys that are going to be playing in it at some point this year. Joey is my youngest boy. He's 7 years old. He's going to play in the 1st and 2nd grade flag league coming up here in the spring. And then I've got TJ. He's my 9-year-old. He's going to be playing on the 3rd and 4th grade flag team. And then my oldest boy, William, is 11. He's going to be playing on the passing league team, perhaps this spring as well.
So I've been involved with Metro football since Sage was a 1st grader. He's now going into 6th. He's a 5th grader now. So I've been involved with Metro in flag for that. And then I got these guys to come aboard after we started getting into the tackle and that, which we needed some more growth. But I've been involved with it, like I said, for the 6 years, and it's been a blast every year. Meeting all the kids, meeting the parents, making the community try to come together, in the spring, other than, the soccer and other different sports. When I started this, there was one team for Benton, and with the introduction of Jason and Jeff and some of the other coaches, we have grown this football entity in Benton to having up to 4 teams in the spring, and then we had 3 teams in the fall. So it's a growing thing, and it's going good. And we just would like to, there's a lot of questions out there about it, and we thought this would be a great way to get some answers out to people.
So practice actually starts the week of March 23rd. I believe that's a Monday. Might as well go ahead and get the practice schedule out for the spring right now so everybody can start planning for it. But we plan on practicing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays and Thursdays. So, see, this is why we rehearsed this 25 times before we did it. So
Mondays and Thursdays, tentatively from 6 to 7.
Correct.
And it's all practices, whether your kid's in 1st grade, 2nd grade, on up, are going to be at the Atkins soccer field / football field.
Exactly. So first week of practices, I have it written down here, March 24th and March 26th. We'll go ahead and confirm those dates and get them out to everybody. But that's based on the schedule we did last year. So,
yeah.
That being said, again, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. at night up at the soccer complex right behind the water tower. So that being said, I thought it would be good to talk about some common questions that are out there, because we do have quite a few people that are actually watching this right now. And we're also going to rebroadcast this out via YouTube so we can get as much information out as possible. So what I thought we would do is ask some questions about about football in general, and maybe some questions that you guys have that are out there watching right now. You can also type in any questions you have right now. Jason's watching the monitor, so we can go ahead and make sure that we address any questions that you have. But first of all, Chad, can you tell us a little bit about the as far as the league is concerned, what kind of background checks and what kind of safety training do we have to go through to be a coach?
For you to be a coach through Metro and Benton, you have to have a background check done for any of the sports, spring or fall. And then in the fall, we are required to do a course for through USA Football for tackling and some practice things, so that we're more educated on what is the new and updated things that they're teaching, possibly in the professional level. I know a couple years ago it was emulated about the Seattle Seahawks and how they tackled, and that's what we were teaching our kids at, the fourth grade level. So if you think about that, our kids are learning at a young level for the safety factor that they're doing in the NFL. So it's a huge thing. Metro is like the number one thing on our list is safety. And we've gone to some pretty good extents to grow that safety with the equipment we have. We purchased Guardian caps last year. So, those are just a few of the things that, and it's evolving all the time. Every meeting we have on the board, there's some safety brought up. So
something to put a little exclamation point on that too, as we go through what they call heads up technique training. We definitely teach how not to use your head, and that's both in spring football and in fall football when we put the pads on. That's a major emphasis, and I'm happy to say that since I've been here the last 3 years, we haven't had anybody with had any kind of a head concussion or any kind of an injury outside of a sprained ankle every now and again.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and a lot of that's due to the training that we have. For people who know me, I've got a past in college football, so I learned it one way, and it's kind of neat getting to relearn it the right way.
Yeah.
So, just because I learned it one way doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way. And they spend a lot of time and a lot of effort making sure that we get taught safety. Safety is paramount. Safety is key. This is a learning league. This isn't an NFL type organization. No. This is where we want the kids to learn, and that's from first grade all the way up through seventh grade. Actually,
yeah.
This league. So that being said, let's go ahead and go down to another topic right here. Practice times and locations, and we're going to talk a little bit about fall here, just so that we can get that out here to some parents that might not be able to work spring into the schedule. But Chad, where do practices take place typically?
Typically, Metro's rule is it's up to the coaches. The coaches decide where and when the practice will be held. So for us, and we kind of get together as a group, and like last year for the fall, we decided that we got in with Coach Zittergren, and he said, you guys can utilize our facilities at the high school, our equipment, and that was a huge thing for us. I go, that was great to be a part of that and start growing that Benton family even tighter. So we did, for fall last year, we had 2 practices in Atkins and 2 practices in Van Horn. For the spring, for us, all of us are coaches. We live in Atkins. It's easier for us. We have them all in Atkins. But, for the most part, it's just what the coaches decide what they want to do.
And I got to say, being able to use the Bobcat Stadium, the facilities out there, it was incredible last year. We got to use all of their equipment, from their blocking sleds to their chutes to all their blocking equipment out there, and just made our team that much better, being able to have that stuff. Now we've got at Metro, we have a slew of blocking dummies and practice pads and all kinds of stuff that they give us, state-of-the-art equipment, brand new. We've got a great relationship with Dick's Sporting Goods, where they give us a lot of good stuff to be able to utilize and practice. But it just took it to the next level, being able to work with Benton Community in the high school program, and them allowing us to utilize their facilities. As long as we're on the subject on that, I do want to mention, give a shout out to Coach Zittergren, big supporter of our league, big supporter of what we're trying to do out here, and actually one of our biggest advocates. So we definitely want to thank Coach Z for everything that he's done to help us promote football here in Benton community. So it's been a really nice ride. So looking forward to this spring as well in the fall again. And we probably should mention one of the things that you might not realize is that in the fall we actually got to play a game at Bobcat Stadium. That was pretty sweet. And if you've ever been to one of the high school games out there, the speakers are going, AC/DC's playing on the speakers. I mean, it's just like a high school event. And we played 3 games out there on one day last year, and it was an incredible experience for the kids.
Yeah, that was a high point. Getting able to play in your home stadium against the team, and then having the people come. I mean, it was rainy and drizzly that day, so probably the crowds were a little less, but. We'll advertise it a lot more this fall and let a lot of people know what's going on through the schools and through our website or and that kind of thing. So we'll be able to really let people know and then hopefully fill the stadium up.
Absolutely. So not to get too far off topic, but let's go ahead and get back in the meat of what we're here to talk about in the spring right now. So what does it cost? What does it cost for everybody to play flag football here in the spring?
For the cost for spring ball, if you get registered before the 29th, it was $65. It's $75.
$75 now.
And a lot of parents ask, what does that cover? What do I need to bring to practice and that kind of thing? If they have cleats, mouth guards are supplied by us, and shirts for games will be supplied by us. So just a T-shirt, and whatever the weather is doing, dress accordingly. So we talked about practices starting the week of March 23rd here. We talked about where they're going to be at. What about the games, Chad? Games will be at the Metro facility over off of Ahern Drive. A lot of people it's kind of hidden back. It's a little hidden gem back behind a nursing home there off of Council Street. So games will be there. Depending on scheduling, they'll either start at noon or 1. It's kind of a variable. It depends on how many teams we have signed up for the league. And they go as late as 5 o'clock on Sundays. So
they are on Sundays.
Yep.
So typically after church on Sundays. And for those not familiar with the facility, Ahern Drive is right off of, Council Street.
Council Street.
Right off of Council Street, kind of behind MediaCom.
Yep.
So it's right. I believe it's 1100 Ahern Drive Northeast in Cedar Rapids. So is somebody going to go ahead and post the right address? That'd be great. But they have 3 beautifully maintained football fields there. So if you haven't been to Cedar Rapids, the Metro Youth Football Complex there, it is a beautiful facility. They have 3 regulation-sized football fields. Each field has its own lights for night games. We've got concessions out there.
Yep.
And it's a really nice facility, right in the heart of Cedar Rapids. Kind of the confusing part because people ask us, well, you guys were Metro football. That's a Cedar Rapids thing, right? No, it's not. That's just where we play our games at. And that's the organization to where Benton community participates in. And last spring we actually had 4 flag football teams.
Yes.
So which was great.
We went from 1 to 4. So that just goes to show the Facebook. Us starting our own Facebook page and the getting out and so it's called beating the streets and making it aware to people. I don't know how many people played like YMCA flag or a different league because they didn't know that this was available. And so I think with us doing things like this, and hopefully we'll have more involvement and keep this growing.
So how many games are we going to play in the spring? It's
a six-week season, which this year for flag will be a 7 with because we do not play on Easter. So for flag you'll play a 7 total 7 weeks, 6 games, and same with a tackle. It'll be a 6-game season.
Okay, so I believe that puts us down at about May 17th is the last week.
I think so.
Is the last game time. So May 17th. So what about 7-on-7? Benton community, big baseball town, big soccer town. There's a lot of Blue Sox organizations, Bobcats. There's a lot of different soccer leagues out there this year. are we going to do anything differently as far as scheduling to try and make that work for people?
That is I'll be coaching the 7-on-7 this year, so there will be a meeting amongst all the 7-on-7 coaches, and depending on who we have signed up, if we have baseball players signed up where that does conflict with Sunday games, that we can rework and work with all the other coaches and have Monday night games. So if there's a lot of kids that are playing baseball that would miss the potential, then we would do that. And then as far as like practicing goes, and that's for flag too, 1 day a week. There's 2 practices. If your child can make it to 1 practice, you're eligible to play the games. And so I know a lot of people want to play, soccer, baseball. There's other sports that they're doing, and they're like, well, I don't want to commit totally to one or the other. We'll work with you. That's just trying to get everybody out there and having fun and enjoying what this game has to offer.
And I want to make sure that we effectuate that point. We definitely want to work with you. I mean, we understand that scheduling is tight. I know right now I got 3 of my boys are on different Blue Sox travel baseball teams, and I'm going to give them as many practices as I can. I'm going to give them as many games as I can. But they had such a blast last year doing it that there was no question. They want to be able to fit it in. And actually, in the Cedar Rapids area, a lot of the coaches that are coaching the Metro teams are also coaching their travel ball teams too. So there actually is a little bit of togetherness, so to speak. So when we come together, we talk about, okay, how many tournaments are you in?
Yeah.
What tournaments are you playing in? So when it comes to the 7-on-7 league, they get to work their schedules around that sometimes.
And that's exactly what they're doing. That's why we're having a meeting just with 7-on-7 coaches, and most of them should know their baseball schedule and what baseball tournaments they're going to be in, and potentially missing that Sunday possibly. So that's where they're going to go to the Monday night games, and that'll be, potentially, well, I guess it'll still be light, but in the fall would be night games, but that's another topic.
So, well, let's talk about how you actually sign up. You actually go to metroyouthfootball.com, and you can sign up right online. They can take a debit card or a credit card payment right online. You can actually pick what you need to do for our section of the country out here is you just got to pick your high school as Benton Community. And that way, when you once you pick what grade you're in and what high school you're going to, they'll go ahead and assign you to one of our teams. And if you're going to sign up this year, you want to make sure that you sign up in the grade that you're in now, today. So whatever grade they're in now for the spring, that's what you're going to sign up for the spring. Fall's a little bit different.
Yep.
But so not to confuse everybody, but for the spring, whatever grade your kid is in now, today, is where you need to sign them up on metrofootball.com, metroyouthfootball.com.
And one thing we're kind of doing, it says 4th and 5th grade for 7-on-7. We're trying to fill up our 3rd and 4th grade actual flag teams first, and then if we have an abundance or whatever, but we're trying to just keep 5th grade on that passing league to give the younger kids in the 4th grade and 3rd grade more of a football experience rather than just a passing league. So if you have a 5th grader, sign them up for the passing league. If you have a 4th grader, sign them up for the 3rd, 4th grade flag.
Mm-hmm. So another question that we run into, is there any assistance to help with the registration fees? Because we get it in today's world. There's a lot of expenses out there, and the answer is yes. We do have financial assistance for those qualifying families who are on the district's free and reduced meal plans. And you can actually contact Paul Kongshong. It's Paul Kong 3. That's PAULKONG, the number 3 at gmail.com. If you're on the free and reduced lunch plan through the school, he can give you a code when you're signing on and registering for football to go ahead and help you guys out.
Yep.
So we talked about the equipment for the season right now, and I want to make sure that everybody is aware you just need a pair of cleats. And for the spring, they say for football, obviously, you should have the molded football cleats. But can we get away with a baseball cleat or a soccer cleat if they've got it?
I would say a soccer. I know the football, sometimes they get it. You definitely don't want steel.
Yeah.
But, it depends on the referees. I can't tell you that, sometimes the high school kids on the referees, They're told football cleats. I know I've been called out on it in one instance where a kid was wearing soccer shoes and he had to just change into regular shoes. So it's just something. And if you need, assistance with shoes, Dick's usually has a 20% off coupon that usually comes out. I can't remember if they do it spring and fall.
So.
But there's a 20% discount, and you can go find a pair of, like I bought my boy last year's model, and I paid $20 for the brand new set of cleats. So, and then there's also all of us as our kids grow. Of course, we have old cleats that have been more 1 year, and I've passed them on to other parents just to do that. So don't feel like you can't just say, hey, if there's any other, I bet you a bunch of us have shoes sitting in closets that we'd be happy to get rid of.
So let's talk a little bit about communication, because that's key right now. Once you get signed up for the league, you're going to get put on a team. You're going to be given a coach. How do we know what time practices are? We already talked about that a little bit, but what about games? And how do we communicate with you once you're actually signed up? Is there just this big black hole? No, it's called Team Connect.
Yep.
And it's an app that's available on the Android store or the Apple store. And once you get assigned to a team, you get login credentials to it. And we email, we message, communicate. You can actually link it to your Google calendars, your Apple calendars, right through the app itself. So it's in real time. So when we have the schedules posted, which is the first week of the season, we'll get the schedule for the entire season. We'll put that on Team Connect for you, and as long as you sync that up with your calendar, it'll just pop right into your calendars for you.
And you'll also each coach will have an informational meeting a week or two prior to the season kickoff, and that's where some of this will go into play, where they'll tell you, okay, practices are going to be held when, where, what you need to bring, and then also they'll touch base on like what fundraisers we're doing for the spring and different things like that. So they'll have an informational meeting once teams are divided and sent to each individual coach. That coach will reach out to everybody through email or whatever avenue that they have available, and they'll set up a meeting to have with the team that they are coaching.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So one of the common questions out there, or what we see out here, is before I get to that, I should probably mention that my AV guy has got a note here for me. Actually, Metro Youth Football Organization, has been going since I believe 1971.
Yeah.
And it's been in town. It's been here for a while. Metro Youth Football is a nonprofit organization. So all of the registration fees that you guys pay, all the donations that we get actually go to help keep the league up and running. It helps mow the grass. It helps paint the fields. It helps pay for all the equipment. Let's talk about the equipment real quick, Chad.
Everybody, in the fall, this is jumping into the fall, but in the fall, the fee to play is 165 early bird, 175 afterwards, and the league has figured out that it estimated cost for each player with all the equipment and stuff is actually $225 a year is what we figure with reconditioning and buying new equipment and stuff is what it costs the league. So our fundraisers help pay and keep our costs down for that. I know some people are like, geez, $175, but in the grand scheme of things, we supply all the equipment. You just show up and bring a pair of shoes and you're good. That's the extent of it, and it's high quality equipment.
It's state of the art. Most of it's Rydell. It's just at most a few years old right now, but extremely great quality helmets. We just had a big, massive shipment last year of a lot of brand new helmets for last year, a lot of brand new shoulder pads. And we also made an investment last year at Metro Youth Football for the Fall League to purchase Guardian helmet caps that go over top of the helmets. And for those of you who haven't looked at our Facebook page, the Guardian cap is a protective pad that goes over top of the helmets, and we actually require our players to wear those not only in practice but also during the games. So with that happening right now, helmet hitting, you don't even hear the helmets hit anymore because It is a softer blow. It reduces the contact up to 33%, and I believe they can keep your head 15 degrees cooler as well. They stop things like hip pointers. People aren't getting their fingers crushed or pinched. And it's just another safety measure that the league went ahead and voted on purchasing this year.
Yes.
And it was very well received. Kids didn't even know they had it on. And once again, we out here in Benton Community had a great injury-free, concussion-free fall season.
Yeah. Going to the safety, and the fundraisers, I understand, like, some people, it's kind of a pain sometimes selling candy, selling cookie dough, but that's where we spent the money from the fundraiser, was to purchase those Guardian caps, and that was $35,000 approximately, from the fundraiser that we were able to put right back into the league and use to try to protect. Like I said, safety is our number one goal for these kids, and to teach them that, and to also equip them with the state-of-the-art safety equipment. So that's just one more step that Metro is doing as a group, for everybody. We're evolving with the times, trying to make things safer and safer. We're not staying back with the old days of, here's this equipment, you play, and that's it. We're trying to keep up with the new things that are coming out.
Yeah, we keep up with the times, and it's good quality equipment. And I've heard it's better than most high schools around have.
Yep,
I mean, that's because the guy who actually supplies that is on the Metro board as well.
Yeah.
So we definitely safety first, and we're very very aware of that out here. But I do want to discuss another topic right now. Why is it beneficial to start playing football so young?
This is my personal opinion. I want my son to start young, so that when he's in the high school levels, he's already at the knowledge and knows how to tackle properly, knows the different things, the stretching, what it all takes to be a healthy and be able to play the whole year injury free. Like right now, we hear a lot of it that we just want our kid to start in 7th grade. My opinion, it's my opinion only, that is the wrong avenue to go, because of just the simple things of what we're teaching through Metro with heads up tackling, getting the head out of the thing. A lot of kids that possibly don't know, they're going to go into middle school, and I think they have a week, maybe 2 weeks of practice and their first game. We have 3-4 weeks of practice of teaching heads up tackling and all that before we start our game. And then we also have, we call it the Red Stripe program, where we do, the upper 20%?
20%, yep.
20%. Those kids cannot carry the ball.
The heaviest 20%.
Heaviest 20%. So you don't have, like, and in Benton on our team, we have a lot of kids that were 80 pounds that potentially we're going to have to tackle a 120-pound kid. I was not concerned with our guys at all, because they were taught the right way, and they actually did it the right way. So, you have a kid that comes out of 7th grade, he's never tackled, he's going to tackle with his head down and have a possible injury, in my opinion.
Good, and thank you for that. Another thought that I had too, and you hear this from parents, is this is a game. Football is it's a little bit rougher of a game. Kids are going to get nicked, they're going to get dinged, they're going to get knocked down, but it teaches you a lot about getting back up. It teaches you a lot about character. It teaches you a lot about perseverance. There's something happening every play. There's a lot of action going on right now, and once you get past the nicks and the bumps, you learn a little bit more about character, and you get up and you get back in there and you go after it. And I'll echo what Chad said right here now too. I think right now, being that the kids are only 80 to 120 pounds at this age, at this weight, they can learn stuff and they can make mistakes and not get hurt, because they don't weigh a whole lot. The speed, they're not. I mean, we got some fast kids. I'll give them that right now. But the speed right now versus the speed of what you're going to get to in grade school and high school, obviously a lot different. So my kids love it because they get to learn, they get to understand body control, and they get to go against people their own size, their own abilities right now. And again, we're all about teaching Metro Youth Football, and what we do out here in Benton Community. This is not a win at all costs, play your best players and run up the score. This is a teaching league where we teach the kid proper technique, and most importantly, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun in practice, a lot of fun in the games, and but we teach. That's what we do, and that's what this league is about.
And going back to the fall and our Red Stripe program through Metro, so when, say your kid's 90 pounds, 100 pounds when he gets into 7th grade, there's no weight restriction. The other team could have a 210-pound kid that's going to run the ball, and your 100-pound kid's going to be expected to tackle that kid. And without the proper teaching and techniques shown to him, there's a real upper level of injury possibilities, in my opinion, that could happen with that. Metro, we try to limit that to the best that we can. So.
Well, on that same note right now, and we'll stick with some of the things that are going on in the fall right now. We do what's called modified or our flackle. That's one of the things that our league has actually come up with to not only help in safety but also transition a kid from flag to tackle. What flackle is, or modified tackle, what it is full pad flag football. And that's something we actually offer in the fall. We have a 3rd and a 4th grade team. It's a combined team this year, but what they're going to do is they're going to get basically 4 years of flag football opportunity, and then they're going to transition into the flackle, the modified league, where they got all the pads on, and we teach them how to use them, but you're not getting tackled in the games. You're not going down on the ground.
Yep.
So we have 30 minutes of heads-up technique that we actually teach every practice, but it's probably one of the biggest it's on the biggest rise that I've seen in the football circuit right now. The modified tackle, where you've got full pads and you still have flags that you're pulling right now, but people are learning how to hit, how to use the pads, how to keep their heads out of there. And quite frankly, our kids just had a blast with it last year.
Yeah.
And looking forward to it again this year. And then obviously after that, in the 5th and 6th grade, you go ahead and get the full pads.
Get into the full pads.
Full tackling.
Well, one thing with that too is that we're trying to convert the Metro thing to a smaller school division, and since we've got on the board, we've kind of pushed that to get enough teams in Metro that we can just have a 3A school or smaller division, so we're not playing against the Linn-Mars, the Prairies, those type of people. It's a great challenge for us with the limited number of kids that we get to play those schools, but we want to be competitive, and in my opinion, we hold our own, but we just don't have the numbers to stay with them. But so that's what we're trying to do. So if you have anybody that has any knowledge, or anybody else in a small school that's looking to join a league, that's what we're trying to do, is get a 3A school and smaller division, and have fun with that. And then like I said, we'll play a home game with it. So.
And then last year it was us, it was CPU, and Marion were in the small school division.
Yep.
This year we're looking at hopefully adding North Lynn as well. We're talking with Alburnett, we're talking to Vinton Shellsburg, Mount Vernon. So we're talking to other towns about joining the league right now. And quite frankly, the modified tackle league has been the biggest interest. Like, wow, you guys actually do that. So looking to take that small school division to the next step here in the fall. So
in the combined grades.
Yes.
Because a lot of the small schools, that's where we were running into some of the issues where we didn't have enough kids to really field a full team. And so that's where the combined grades kind of came into play. So.
Oh, here's something that we might not know about. Is there going to be a special maybe guest coach this year? Who's helping us out?
Yeah, that's at this winter. I had Turner Schroeder come over, and he had his own shoveling business going this winter. And I talked to him, and he's very interested in helping me coach and as much as he can with the 7-on-7. And I'm sure he'd be willing to pop around with some of the other grade levels to talk to them. And he was one of the top wide receivers last year on the Benton team. I think he holds the school record for the most yards in a game. Very nice kid. I think the kids will look up to that and really be kind of awe-stricken by some of the things that he can tell them. And the one thing he told me is it starts young. He goes, if you guys want to have good teams down the line, he goes, all of the guys that he played with, they've been playing together forever. And he goes, it's like a brotherhood. He goes, that's what we need to do. He goes, you start them young and start growing them up, and hopefully we can continue the tradition that Coach G's starting and keep going with it.
So on the subject of coaches right now, I'm going to go back to spring here for everybody, and just to let you know who's going to be coaching. So right now, the first and second grade flag football team, Jason Hahn's going to be the head coach of that. I know Adam Wolfang is going to help out, as well as myself on the first and second grade team. On the third and fourth grade team, Jamie Larson's going to be coaching that with myself, Adam Langston, Ryan Griner. So we're going to have kind of the same group that we had in the fall on that third and fourth grade team. So looking forward to that. And then on the 7-on-7, Chad's going to be the head coach. Jason's going to help out with that. As well as Jeremy Renderneck, Aaron Pugh.
Yep.
And always pop my head in there, and I always have a few little tidbits here and there to pop in.
Just because we're assigned to one team doesn't mean we stay to that. We bounce around and do it as a community kind of coaching thing. We just help each other out where we're needed.
So just to give you guys an idea right now, I'll give you the numbers. Right now in the first and second grade, we've got 18 players. Now, in the spring, this is 8-man football. So just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. So it's 8-man football. We've got 18 players in the first and second grade, 18 players for the third and fourth grade. We've got 9 right now for the 7-on-7 league for a total of 45 kids. And to break it down even further for you, I've got 9 first graders, 9 second graders, 12 third graders, 6 fourth graders, and 9 fifth graders. So we've got a good mix of grades out there. So it's not going to be all, the first and second team is not going to be all loaded up with second graders. Yeah. So it's going to be a good blend of kids there. I will say, we're still taking registrations right now. We'd like to be able to put 2 teams together for the first and second and the third and fourth, and then put one big nice passing team together. So we still got some time out there to register. So really looking forward to that. We're still getting a few trickle in day by day, but while we're on the subject of spring right now, let's just go ahead and go over a few dates and times. So the first games are going to be April 5th. Okay, that's the first Sunday that we're having games. The games are going to be at Metro, which, by the way, is 1100 Ahern Drive Northeast.
Yep.
But it's also going to be where we have to turn on our fundraiser. So when you meet with us for that first practice, you get your fundraising kit. It's going to be cookie dough again this year. So you'll go ahead and you'll get your kit. You'll have your time to go out and sell it. And then at that first game is going to be the money turn in for the cookie dough.
So there's not going to be a lot of time. Yep. Usually it's 2 weeks because with Easter being a little sooner this year, usually they would do it live. But so this year it's going to be just the 1 week in between. So we're going to have to push to sell.
It's good stuff. Everybody who has it likes it.
Yeah,
Kids get awards.
Yeah,
kids do get awards. Yeah, yep. If you sell enough, there are prizes that the kids get.
Yep, and I heard it was Adrenaline is who puts it on, and this year we haven't seen what the prizes were, but they said there was going to be some pretty good stuff, some Under Armour gear and different things. Also, with that first game of the season, we will be doing pictures. So you'll get picture envelopes, hopefully, at that first practice, so you can prepare. Just come with your whatever you want for pictures. Free team picture is given to you automatically, so you don't have to fill out anything with that. I don't know if they still want an envelope just with free team picture, just so it's easier to track. That might be something that we do. And I think that's about it for the first game. First game will be a crazy one. You'll be expected to be, if your game's scheduled for 1, you're going to be told be there at 11:30, 12 o'clock, so we can get pictures in, get everything turned in. So plan on the 5th to be a fun-filled day.
Yeah, a lot definitely goes on that day, but kids will have a blast with it. So as long as the weather is good and it's not too cold for those first games, it'll be a fun time. So
Yep.
Now let's switch gears and to talk about we were talking about maybe doing a punt, pass, and kick.
Yeah, that's to try to do some different things for fundraisers for just Benton and our kids here, to maybe purchase some equipment for the tackle league, or just do some different things. We're going to potentially put on a punt, pass, and kick contest at the Atkins, soccer football field. Date to be determined.
Yep.
But that is something that we thought would be fun, and we haven't quite figured out what divisions we're going to do yet. It'll be younger. We'll try to keep the gauge groups kind of similar to what some of the teams are. We'll do something like that. But I think that'd be a fun day out there.
Exactly, and so just be on the lookout for that. But we're going to do our own Benton community fundraiser for the youth football out here. So we'll get back to you guys on our Facebook channel as soon as we have those dates set. But that being said, so we've got the fundraiser through Metro.
Yep.
We're obviously going to do one for the guys out here because we want to make sure these guys got the best training. Products available out here. So whether it be bags, whether it be chutes, whether it be blocking sleds, whether it be some of the ancillary products that you need to be good at football, we definitely go ahead and use the funds for that.
Or the assistance to join the league. Some people don't like asking. We could do that anonymously and then just help you guys out.
Correct. Our quasi scholarship program.
Yeah, that was one other thing we thought, and that Metro does have a scholarship program through Metro. If your child goes and plays Metro, and then the senior year he can submit into the scholarship program, and I don't know how much do they get. I can't remember.
They're $1,500 scholarships.
$1,500 scholarship through Metro. So
yeah, we gave away I believe 4 of them this year. So absolutely. So let's go ahead and I guess get it wrapped up. Let's talk about the spring to go ahead and finish this up here. So thank you everybody for joining us. But so we've got 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd and 4th grade, and 5th grade opportunities. Okay, so 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, those are going to be combined flag football teams. Flag football is 8-man football. So we've already got all the plays designed. We're going to have a lot of fun with those. Both on offense and defense. Chad's working on, he's actually got, Coach Z has given him the playbook, so he's got all the pass patterns that Benton runs, so might seem a little bit familiar if you kind of watch one of our passing league games. So that's going to be happening right there. So March 24th, that week. March 23rd is the week, 24th, first practice, I believe. 23rd.
Yeah, 23rd will be the Monday.
That is Monday, okay.
We'll have practice on the Monday.
We must have done Tuesday, Thursday last year.
I think we did last year.
I was up late putting this stuff together. So, all right, March 23rd is the first practice. It'll be at 6 o'clock. It'll be, you see me pointing right here. It'll be over there by the water tower at the soccer complex down there. So we hope to see everybody there. Make sure. What is our email, Chad?
It is BentonMYFA@gmail.com.
BentonMYFA@gmail.com.
Yep. And so you can email that or just post on Facebook if you have it. Obviously you're watching us on Facebook, so you probably have it. But then also to go back to the preseason stuff, you'll have a meeting with one of your coaches before the season starts to really give you a solid dates and everything, and then also that Team Connect will get turned on once teams are divided, so you'll have a better picture of what's going on. And that's how we communicate throughout the season in the spring. Say it's going to be storming and we're going to cancel practice. We'll send out an email/text if you allow text through it, but we'll just type it up on our phone and say practice is canceled for tonight, and you'll get an email notification saying that. So it's a great way to communicate. I know I've had a lot of parents reach out to me through that saying, hey, my kid won't be there tonight. And we'd really like to know that as much ahead of time as you can, just so we can prepare, if we're limited on kids, and just not wondering where he's at or she's at. And also that's another thing, girls are more than welcome to play. One of our coaches, Jason's daughter, is going to play this year. So we've played against many teams that have had girls out there. So even tackle, we played against teams with girls on the tackle team. So it's for everybody. So
absolutely. So March 23rd, first practice. I got that down now. It's in here. Okay, mine like a steel trap. March 23rd's first practice. April 5th is the first game. That's also when we're going to turn in our fundraising forms.
Pictures.
There's going to be pictures that first game as well. You'll have all your jerseys will be provided to you by then. No games over the Easter weekend, and the season ends May 17th. And historically, we've had a nice little post-season pizza party. Yep. Where we really get into talking about the fall and what we're going to do, because a little bit more of a time commitment in the fall, being that there's more practices involved. But so looking forward to a great spring right now. If anybody has any questions, if we missed anything, or if you jumped on late, feel free to shoot us an email. You've got Chad's phone number, my phone number. Hit us up via Facebook. But love to have you if you're watching this and you're interested in joining Metro Youth Football with us in Benton Community. Sign up. They'll assign you to our team. We'd love to have your son or your daughter come out for the spring and have some fun with us.
Yes. And one thing, just the 17th is the end if we play all games, no rainouts.
Yeah.
The season will extend if we have rainouts. So that's just something else to think about too.
Yep.
So,
Jason, anything you want to add? All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all at practice.
Thank you.